We're going to do an update on the weather situation. My colleagues are here to address it with me. We'll take any questions on that, then we'll go on to other topics. So I want all New Yorkers to know that we have some challenging weather today and tomorrow, and people should be aware. They should get ready for it. You can feel already today how cold it's gotten. It's going to get colder as the day goes on. It's going to get really cold tomorrow morning. And so I want everyone to be on alert, take precautions, think especially about children and making sure that they are safe. Our seniors, disabled folks, it's going to be a trying time, and we want to make sure that everyone is prepared. So the cold is one part of the problem. We also have a very specific problem coming up later this afternoon tonight. It's very limited. It is a winter squall. It's a very brief, very concentrated outburst of snow. Literally could be as little as 15 minutes. If you're in a particular part of the city, you might only experience it for 15 minutes or a half hour, but it'll be very intense in that period of time. So it won't be a lot of snow accumulation, but while you're in the middle of that brief period of time, it could even feel like whiteout conditions. It could be that intense. So everyone has to be ready for that. The word of the day here is for the rest of this day, if you can use mass transit, please do. Obviously, if you don't need to go out, that's ideal. But if you do need to go out, you do need to move around, use mass transit. If you have to drive, either go soon, or if you do end up running into these conditions, the best advice we can give is pull over if you can, take a break again. Could be as little as 15 minutes, but it'd be better for everyone to be very cautious. Don't try and drive through it unless you absolutely have to. In terms of the school system, I'll give the overview, and obviously the Chancellor can speak to other details, but because this is a very brief period of snow that we expect, otherwise the central problem is just the cold temperatures, we will have after-school activities today. It's important for our kids, obviously important for our parents who depend on that as part of their children's schedule. But we certainly encourage parents who are in a position to pick up their kids earlier to do so. But after school will go on as scheduled. And you'll hear from Commissioner Garcia in a moment, but 700 salt spreaders are deployed now to keep the streets clear and to help us avoid icing conditions. Now, as I mentioned, cold now, getting colder. So tonight, we're going to feel colder temperatures, and definitely the wind chill is going to make it feel like you're down around 0. Going into tomorrow morning, we could have wind chill even below that, -10 or even worse. So tonight and tomorrow, Thursday, are the particularly intense cold times. We want people to be on alert. We want people to be ready. Do not assume it's business as usual. Take special precautions. Some other quick notes, code blue in effect. If you see anybody out in the cold you think need help, if it's a problem but not an absolutely urgent problem, call 311. If you think it's a life-threatening problem, call 911, of course. And the NYPD and Department of Homeless Services will respond immediately. Anybody who does not have heat, please call 311. It's very important. The best chance we have of getting your heat back on is if we get that call, and we want to address it right away. Anything we can fix today before the even colder temperatures tomorrow, we want to do. And then in terms of public housing, we have a heat command center open. It is being staffed now 24/7 to respond to any outages. As of about 9 o'clock this morning, there was one development with an outage in New York City. And that was being addressed, I believe, has been resolved or is about to be. NYCHA is also opening heating centers and activating heat teams in every borough to get us through this particular cold snap. At this point also, stating the obvious, the question I get, Chancellor, you'll appreciate this, anybody under the age of 18, if they see me on the street, they ask this question, will school be open tomorrow? Yes, school will be open tomorrow. Based on all reports we have now, we intend to have school open. If anything changes, of course, we will update everyone. Let me just say a quick few words in Spanish. Esta tarde será un poco difícil llegar a casa después del trabajo por la nieve. Si pueden, por favor, usen el transporte público. Esta noche hará un frío peligroso que continuará hasta el fin de semana. Eviten los viajes innecesarios. Si pierden la calefacción,
Bien.
gracias. Si pierden la calefacción o ven a algún con problemas en el frío, llamen al 311. So again, anybody with a heat problem, really want to get those calls into 311. So Commissioner Garcia is here, Commissioner Esposito is here, Chancellor and his team are here. Want to see if there's any questions on the weather situation. Yes?
Could the Chancellor address any issues at schools in terms of pipe issues, freezing pipes? Kids often wait in the yards at some of these schools. Will you encourage schools to open the doors instead?
Yeah, so we are unaware of any issues currently in terms of the physical plants, so everything's up and running. Let's just keep our fingers crossed, make sure that stays that way. All of the schools have emergency inclement weather protocols, which they are implementing, so kids will be inside. After-school programs, as the mayor mentioned, will be in effect. However, you will not see them outside. They'll be indoors. When the squall happens to hit. If students are still at school, we will keep students sheltered in place until the squall passes, and then we'll be on the road. So there may be just slight delays in some of the bus routes or students getting home. But aside from that, we are open, we're ready for business, and we're ready to keep kids warm and safe.
Any other questions on the weather situation? Yes?
We've gotten a report from at least one homeless shelter that they're struggling with heat issues. It was from somebody whose mother is living there, and they've called 311, they said, and they've called as many people as they can think, and they sent photos of kind of ice on the inside of the window, and that she's just very cold.
Tell us where, and we'll go deal with it right away. What do you got?
We don't know any systematic issues.
No, as I said, I've heard of only one development as of this morning in Nitro. I've not heard anything specific about shelter, but if you can tell us the location, will you share it with the team? We will dispatch. Jacqueline, you'll follow up and make sure Homeless Services is aware, and we'll get someone right on it. Thank you. Anything else on the, yes?
I have a follow-up just like her. I will share my address with
Good, we appreciate it.
Mr. Carranza could share those words he talked in Spanish as far as the kids being in school and the buses might be delayed. Mañana, ¿qué se espera para los niños en la escuela, canciller?
Pues quiero reforzar lo que acaba de decir nuestro alcalde, que las escuelas van a estar en sesión, no son canceladas, estamos en sesión. Hoy más tarde vamos a tener una tormenta que va a ser breve, pero va a ser intensa. Entonces, no quiero que se preocupen nuestros padres de familia. Todas las actividades están en efecto, pero si tienen la habilidad, les pedimos a los padres de familia que vengan a recoger a sus niños temprano. Si llega esa tormenta temporal, mientras que estudiantes estén en la escuela, vamos a mantener a los estudiantes fijos en las escuelas para que sean ellos calientitos y tengan lo que necesiten. Y cuando termine la tormenta, vamos a llevarlos, si es por camión, a sus casas o van a poder venir a recoger sus niños. En este momento tenemos planificado que mañana las escuelas van a estar en sesión regularmente con todas las actividades dentro de la escuela y afuera de la escuela.
Okay. Any other questions on the snow situation? Yes?
Yeah, just in terms of the temperature, any words of wisdom about the use of gas stoves or ovens for heating and space heaters and all that sort of thing?
Look, everyone, if there's a heat problem, report it immediately so we can actually get the heat fixed. That's the way to best address it, obviously. But I understand why people attempted to use those temporary measures like opening up the oven or space heater, but there's a lot of dangers associated with that. And, you know, the most important thing is to make sure people are safe. Too often when people come up with that kind of temporary measure, there's been tragedy. So it's much, much better to call in the complaint. We'll get help to you. You know, do everything you can to stay warm, but be very, very careful about anything like a space heater. Okay, anything else, people, on the storm, or it's really the squall and the cold temperature? Going once, twice. Okay.